guys, so let's jump straight into this tutorial. I already have this brow filled in. As you can see, it looks wonderful. And I'm going to do this one very, very similar to this one. I try to do the most natural brow as possible. I don't want it to look too drawn on, too dark. I want it to be the shape of my natural brow with just my tail extended. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate that for you guys right now. We're going to start off taking my spoolie and brush the hair in the direction that I want it to go. And the front of the brow, I always brush it up, and then the middle, I brush it either up or to the side, and then the ends of it, I always brush down. So I'm going to go in with this Anastasia Beverly Hills Dipbrow Pomade in chocolate and put some on this angled brush. And you can use any angled brush, it really doesn't matter the brand. You can go cheap or you can go high end. And then I'm going to start by stretching the skin and start in the more sparse areas. And a little bit goes a long way, but if you put too much on the brush, just work that in, just don't dip your brush back in inside the pomade. And I start off at the very bottom because that's where it's more sparse, especially if you tweeze your brows and you take too much hair out the wrong spot. Then we're going to start working the product into the top. And again, we don't redip, we still use the product that's on the brush. And then when we get to the very top, try to make that line as straight as possible. And then the same thing for the very bottom. And I don't come in here until the very, very end when I have just barely anything on the brush. Fill that in. Go over that top part again, there's a little gap right here. And then now we're going to do the ends. And you can do the tail however you like, but I always advise to stay as close to the natural brow shape as possible. And then I'm going to go a little heavier on the product on the ends because my ends are sparse. It's like barely any hair there. Fill in the center and then go to the very top and make that line. And it's okay if you don't get it really, if you don't get it as straight as you like, because that's when we're going to go in with the concealer and clean it up. And take that spoolie again so that way you can brush through. So you can make the pomade look more like real hair strokes. And remember to brush it in the direction you want the hair to grow. I said grow. And then I am taking this L.A.Girl Pro Conceal in the color Warm Honey. And this is probably like a shade or two lighter than my natural color. And I'm using a flat definer brush to lay the concealer in place. And then you just want to go directly underneath the brow. And I don't start it right here, I start it directly in the middle. And then whatever product is left over, I bring it in. And you want to start bringing that concealer down. And just sharpen up the tail. And then depending upon how much highlight or how much of a highlight you want underneath your brow, you can always add more product. I like my ends to be really crisp, so I put the most product at the end. I'm just going to rub this into my skin to get as much of the product off as possible. And then take the remainder of it and sketch out the very front. And bring that down as well. Take your finger and blend, blend, blend. So that way it'll have a gradient look as opposed to lightness and then your actual skin color. So you want it to blend to make it look like it's naturally there. You just have a natural highlight. And then it's optional to take some at the top, but I do this, like I said, at the very, very ends, because I want the tail to be very sharp, nice and laid. And I just feather on a little bit of that. And if I need a little bit right here to even it out, just use whatever's left on the brush. Bring that up and take your finger and rub it in so that you won't have that halo brow. And you can do your brows before or after your foundation. I like to do it before the foundation, so that way if I do have concealer at the top, I can use my foundation to blend it in even more. And then just make sure that you don't have any streaks in the concealer. So you just take your finger again, stretch your skin, it's easier, and then just pat that in, or you can rub it in. And that looks good to me.